Hello, welcome to our not so medieval kitchen. I'm Evert and together with Angelina I'm going to show you how to prepare a Daryol today. This is a custard type dessert that comes in many variations, such as with different types of fruits or even savory types. But today we're going to show you how to make a cinnamon type Daryol. For this recipe you will need the following. For the dough we're using 225 grams of flour, 65 grams of butter, 40 grams of lard, which we're substituting with ghee, and water. For the filling, we're using 10 egg yolks, 100 grams of sugar, 470 milliliters of light cream or milk, and 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. So first I will show you how to make the dough that we're using today. However, before we start with that, we need to make sure to turn on the oven so it can preheat. This should be at about 200 degrees Celsius for normal ovens or 180 for fan, which we're also using today. For the crust we need 225 grams of flour together with 65 grams of butter, and we're combining that in this case with 40 grams of ghee, vegetable ghee to be precise. In the original recipe they call for lard, however we don't have that, so that's what we're substituting it for. We're going to mix that roughly. Do not get the butter too distributed through the flour in order to get a nice flaky dough. Then we're going to add some water and mix that until it creates a nice consistency. Now we have one ball of dough and we're going to go on to the next step. First we need to blind bake the dough in the pie shape. So we'll first roll out the dough. So now that we got it to an appropriate shape, We'll take it off the, attempt to take it off the workplace. Put it into the key shape.
Just make this look pretty.
We got it now nicely in place, so I'm going to put a piece of parchment paper in the plate itself. And for the blind baking, we'll fill this with rice, as we don't have blind baking stones, but this works just as well. This is fine. And now we will put this in a preheated oven, which is preheated at 200 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. So the crust has been baking for 20 minutes now, and we can remove the filling and put it back in the oven for 6 to 8 minutes until it's a bit browned, but now at 160 degrees Celsius, or if you're using the fan, at 150 degrees. So while the crust is for the second time in the oven, we will prepare the custard. For this we will separate the eggs and only keep the egg yolks. And we'll gather the egg yolks into the larger bowl, so we can easily make the custard. So now that we've separated the eggs into egg yolks and egg whites, we're going to add the sugar to the egg yolks as well as the cinnamon. And we're going to immediately whisk in order to incorporate the sugar into the yolks. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Mix this very well in order to get a nice smooth texture. Now that it's nicely mixed, we're going to add our light cream while we continue mixing. And this we can then add to our crust when it's ready to get out of the oven. Just make sure to stir it again before adding it to the crust. So our dough is now done pre-baking after having had 8 more minutes in the oven without the rice filling. So I'm going to quickly give my custard mixture a quick mix in order to incorporate the separating cinnamon again, and then I'm going to pour it into the crust. You want to do the pouring pretty slowly, as it can easily overflow if you're too quick. It's a bit frothy. And now we'll carefully put this mixture into the oven at the same temperature for 45 minutes or until the custard has set but is still a little bit jiggly. So it's now been close to an hour that the Daryol has been in the oven, and it's still boiling a little bit, but I'd say it's now done. As you can see, it's still a little bit jiggly if I shake it a little bit, and the top has become nice and brown because of the cinnamon. I hope you'll enjoy this recipe, and thank you for watching.